back my money. Oh my god, what a coincidence that we were talking about money and then this situation's money. Salam, sisters. Alaikum salam. I recently found your podcast and have been listening to you ever since. The fact that you do not judge other Muslims and rather support them and want to create inclusiveness makes me feel very comfortable when I ask you for advice on my personal love situation.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is a breath of fresh air.
I'm a 25-year-old female who recently ended a haram relationship of 2 years with a man who's 26.
Well done.
We didn't even practice that. In the beginning of our relationship, both of us were in a bad place. We had a relationship that mainly brought benefits in terms of intimacy. I had bad friends at the time and my faith was not important to me. Slowly, however, we started a relationship where the physical part still played a major role, but we also seemed to have an emotional connection. In the 2 years that followed, we have had our ups and downs. Often, I was suspicious of certain things like the little lies he sometimes told me, periods where he was shorter in his texts and didn't seem to have much time for me, and also the fact that he not once bought me something even though I did. We both still live with our parents and always had to meet secretly as dating is haram. Even though we were in a forbidden relationship, his presence in my life improved my faith. I loved him even more because of it. I soon came to ask him to turn this relationship into a halal relationship and was worried about the barakah of a relationship that started with sin. Every time I brought it up, he changed the topic. I was too afraid to end it because I had given myself completely to this man. His behaviour remained the same and every discussion was about the same problems. Last summer he told me he couldn't give me what I wanted. We haven't had any contact with each other for 1 month. I was devastated and had a lot of heartache. After 1 month he came back and said he couldn't live without me and he wanted to try again, and I was naive and gave him another chance. Everything went better. We heard each other every day. He was sweet and talked about marriage and children. After a month, he announced that he wanted to go on a trip, all alone, very suddenly. I told him I was not okay with this, and we can
a lad's trip, no doubt.
Yeah, and we can go on a trip together after getting married. But I gave in because I trusted him, and he immediately booked everything.
Wait, a trip for them two?
No.
Lad's trip then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The day he left, his flight was cancelled due to visa problems and all the money was lost.
Sign from Allah.
And he asked if he could borrow money from me.
Oh!
You have to understand that at the moment he was the man I was going to be with forever. I had every confidence in our relationship and everything was going so well, and he often started talking about getting married himself, and we were doing everything halal and we were not physical anymore.
Okay.
I gave him all the money. 1.5k. She goes, we spoke every day for 1 month while he was on that vacation. When he came back home, I never heard from him again. His last message was that he was somewhat ill. After that, he ignored me. For 3 weeks, he couldn't call me or make time, even though we lived 5 minutes away from each other. I would knock on his door. I would get his mum to open the door. I'd be like, Sasa, bring your son outside.
I'll be taking little measurements. All that fridge is worth this. That cooker's worth that. I'm taking that.
Sasa, bring him out. So she goes, I was devastated and had prayed istikhara. The next day, she messaged him. She messaged him again, and he basically said the same thing to her, saying, I can't give you what you need. I was heartbroken, so why would he ask for a second chance? I demanded that he says this to my face and pays me back my money. We agreed to meet, on which he gave excuses on why he couldn't come. At first, he had no feelings left. Then it was that his parents, who did not want a Muslim woman of a different origin. Then it was that he had no energy left, so he's given her loads of excuses. Afterwards, he's texted me again and said if we can go for a walk. So we went for the walk, and he confessed that he still loved me and still had feelings, but this is for the best, and that he just wants lightness in his life and positivity, as if I was the problem.
Oh,
Then-
gaslighting her.
Then I didn't hear from him again for a week, and he texted me the first day of Ramadan wishing me good luck with fasting. The first 2 weeks of Ramadan, he texted me every day after iftar and asked about my day, and then it went silent again. Oh my god, this man. It's gotten to the point where I can't take it anymore and I just want to move on, but he still owes me my money. For the most part, for the 2 weeks I called and texted him so he could deposit something, I could see that he was serious about paying me back. The only thing that I received was Happy Eid and may God fill your life with love. And honestly, this man's really aggravating me. Anyway, he said he was going to call me for the money, but 1 week later, he still hasn't done that. He's ignored all my messages. And she goes, I drove past this house a few times and I can't see his car anymore. She goes, this man is a doctor's assistant, so I know he has good money. I only asked him to refund me the small amount that he's used, but he still hasn't responded. She goes, on one hand, I really love him. All this came to me very suddenly. 3 months ago, he was so sweet and loving, and now he's ignoring me and won't pay me back. On the other hand, she goes, I don't know how to confront him or his father. He used me and he basically just left me like it was nothing. I just can't understand why he ignores me and why he won't start to pay me my money back. What should I do about the money he owes me? I still feel so ashamed about giving all of myself to him. And I'm questioning the 2 years I spent with him. If everything was a lie, if he really loved me, or was it all a lie, what should I do?
There's two approaches to this. Either she can get her money back the ratchet way, or she could just close this chapter in your life and move on. Now, something in me, is inclined more towards the ratchet side.
But I'm scared he's going to start saying that I've used her, I've done this,
yeah, that's true.
And use that to blackmail
So
her.
the thing with haram relationships is a lot of men tend to end up having leverage over women. Things that they could potentially use to try and harm you, to guilt you, to shame you, etc. Now, I just think it's 1.5k. It's not a lot of money in hindsight, although it is a lot of money depending on your relative poverty, etc., and the cost of living crisis. But I think it is worth just turning away from. I don't think it's worth seeking. You've prayed istikhara on the matter. He's still acting up. I don't like the fact that he keeps coming back into her life and, dropping these little breadcrumbs as though he's, somehow going to do something. He's not going to give you the money back, sis. He used you. This is what happens in haram relationships every single day.
Okay, the only thing I want to say is, this man does not love you. I don't think he's ever really truly loved you, and I'm not saying this to hurt you. I think we just need to be honest about the situation. If he loved you, he wouldn't put you in a situation where in harm's way physically, in terms of financially and the emotional and physical intimacy that he was having with you. If he really truly loved you, that's the honest truth. People make mistakes and they have sex and they do all these things, but the biggest thing that I would really advise any female and anyone listening, if you are in a haram relationship where you are physically intimate with someone, get out, leave, and never come back, because honestly no barakah is going to come from that. That is the honest truth. Even if you get married, I don't think so. I don't know, I'm not a scholar, I don't control Allah's barakah, but I just genuinely feel like it's not safe and it's not worth it. And this man, like Colton said, he literally, he doesn't care. He'll use you, take money from you, use you for whatever emotional connection that he needs, and then
disappear,
and then come back when he needs something again. It's the worst type of person.
It's really toxic. This is a very toxic relationship, and the worst part is, sis, you actually have the power here, and the power is to walk away. And I think if you can do that, then you're ultimately the winner in this scenario. You need to walk away from him, from whatever is keeping ties between you two, if it's the money or whatever. Just put it to bed, close the chapter and get away from him, because I don't think any good is even going to come from you. Even though you feel wronged and you feel hurt now, these feelings are eventually going to pass, and they won't mean anything to you when you start investing in yourself and your own self-care and things like that. I just don't think this man is for you. He's an asshole and I hate him.
Honestly, like, I'm trying to think ways you can get your money back. If you sent it to him via, like,
Allah will give you the money back.
He will give it to you in another
Allah
way.
will give you the money back. Just spend some money in charity, you'll get it back tenfold. It's as simple as that, sis. Just get away from this little weirdo.
And also, if he comes back to you one more time saying, I love you, I want this life with you, please
just
block.
Block, sir. Block him.
Block.
You know what's pissing me off? He's done that and still thinks it's okay to send messages like Eid Mubarak or let's go for a walk. Excuse me, you have disrespected me on a ground level. Like, how does he know that she's not on the cusp of poverty right now? Literally. That he just took that money and she was just doing it to be nice. She thought she was going to get it back. No, this man doesn't care about your well-being.
He finessed her.
He literally finessed you.
He finessed you, but you can be the smart one right now and finesse him back by never ever interacting with him again. And I know, men like this, he'll come
back. He'll find a way
and
back into your life.
He's gonna go ham.
Slimy little shit.
He is gonna go ham. He's gonna be messaging you the nicest things.
Because he's the one that relies on the emotional connection. It's him that's relying. It's him that appears to keep coming back. He needs you. You don't need him. Oh. This is my worst nightmare.
And there's so many women in these situations where men are just literally dragging along.
Taking advantage of just the niceness of women, of kindness. They're taking advantage of kindness, of their good nature. I do not like it.
If a man wants to be with you, he will be with you. And that will mean he will come to your family and say, listen, I want to get married to this girl. Honestly, that's my honest truth. There is no longing it out anymore. And you know, sometimes we talk about people being in long relationships, 4 or 5 years. Don't even do it, sis. Don't even do it.
Don't even do it. It's not even worth the headache. No. I reckon you can gauge from 6 months whether or not, maybe even 3, whether or not a man is serious about getting married to you. You can gauge it. You can see it. You can see it in his reactions, in the things that he does for you, in the acts of service, and you know what I mean?
And this is similar to the man from last week that was stingy with his money. If a man is not willing to spend on you, to treat you like you're amazing, to treat you like a queen, to put in the effort, let it go. I'm so sorry, there is no hope in that. They're really triggering
dirty behaviour. Men like this need to go, not in the bin, darling. The ground needs to open up and swallow them. Honestly.
And this poor girl, she's probably sitting there pining over him. She's pining over him.
He's actually shaitan.
Keeps coming back and returning. Oh, you know when a toxic ex just sends you that you up message. Are you okay? How have you been? How's life been treating you? And that patronising, happy Eid, may Allah bring life and love into your life. Give me my money back.
Run me back my money.
Literally, run me back my peas, and then we can go about our lives.
Do you know what I mean?
And the fact that he's got something over her is what
annoys me as well. Oh,
please don't give yourself to these men.
Never.
Don't let Queen Charlotte gas you, okay?
No, this is not Simon, this is not Anthony, this is not George. This man is Voldemort.
Honestly, wallahi, don't ever put yourself in a situation where you have sexual relationship with a man.
No,
guys. Don't.
As soon as you open those legs, it's game over. The mahaladaha.
The leverage that he'll have over you.
Forget the leverage, it's like the thing he has tilted. Everything is in his favour. Power kibabasi saying it there.
You've given him all the power.
All the power. Don't do it, girls. Honestly. There is honour in virginity.
Keep the cookie in the box.
Keep it in the box. Even Gala, listen to this. Gala are practicing the 3-month rule, the 6-month rule, because they know how powerful the cookie is.
Like a man. Is that this attachment that she's got now?
It's a very unhealthy attachment.
Because she doesn't have the same support and the protectiveness of being in a marriage where you are comforted by this person that loves you.
The man actually has a vested interest in seeing that you are basically happy.
Allah make it easy for you. Make dua. Repent to Allah that He forgives you for this situation and He lets you move away from this man with ease. We've tried to advise you as best as you can. I think for me, in terms of the 1.5k, Allahu A'lam, leave it alone. Let it marinate. Just leave it to Allah. If He if this man, if he's got shame, he will come back, he will bring that money back to you some way, somehow. And if not, then you know what is happening.
She ain't getting the money back home.
You never know, it could. I'm just saying, I don't think she should go look for the money.
Allah is going to give you the money.
But I'm saying the money is going to come back to her, you never know.
Don't even think about the money. Just block him and never speak to him again and go about your life. When they send scenarios, it touches me.
And so me.
When there's an injustice, it infuriates me. So I just need her to understand that whatever I say, I know it comes off very harsh.
Passionate.
Yeah. But it is coming from a place of just anguish, and I care about you.
I think she just needs to heal and move on.
And I want the best for you.
Okay, scenario number 2.
Scenario number 2 is actually flipping disgusting, guys.